Hey guys, and welcome back to the 50th episode. We're going to do a deep dive into Frosty and how I know it's possible to get to 5.5 million. I know it's possible to get to 6 million, but just kind of wanted to go in depth to kind of show you a little bit more in detail as to how I'm going to accomplish this. Starting with the services, police, because the width on this side here is 10 tiles, we do need to use 2, but I did go back and forth with the, as you see, 4 and then 1 and then 3 and then 4 and then 3, and that's kind of the route that I took in order to accomplish that, just because looking at one of these police stations, you can kind of see the coverage that I'm getting only because that one there is facing or using this road all the way to the right as the opening, while this second police station over here is using the currently Omega road as its opening, and you can kind of see what the coverage is. But with this setup, you can see I can get away here as well, just with the placements of using the smaller services. Health, I only needed 1 here on this level, but just looking a little bit more in depth how we are using the Sakura Park as our park of choice. I did mix in a couple Omega parks just in areas where I do have a lot of population, a lot of residential units going on. But see, we're taking a look at the parks here. As you see, those 4 at 25% each. I do max out that area, and I kind of just spread them through to make sure that I am getting a decent amount of coverage. See, there's 4 of them there. I've also been using the sculpture garden because of the 30% 6x8 in areas where I didn't want to leave an opening in the back. So I went with a 2x1 instead of a 1x1 park. Looking at transportation right now, I've just primarily focused on the heliport with a 50% each, making sure that I had decent coverage there as well. And yeah, I'm only showing you this right now with a 3.3 million population, but obviously if I were to have done this the right way and put another year into this and utilized the taxi stop here, I would have been able to get away with only using 1, just because the boost I could get all the way up to 80%, and that would have been fine for me. But for time, I'm still waiting and using all of these regional items here and trying to get them to a level 10 in my capital city. So for right now, getting to 5.5 million is the goal, which is seeming pretty easy only because I only need to have roughly 275 residential units to do so. As you see, I'm at 274 now. If I average the max of 20,000 per unit, I'll be able to do that. And as you see, as I'm covering up and going over where my other residential units are here, most of these right now are all at 20,000 or a little bit more. That extra 1,000 will help me carry down here at the bottom, where I'm only getting maybe 16 or 17, just because of the way everything plays out around the edges. Taking a deeper dive here into entertainment, I did focus mostly on the Sims nightclub, and you see those are all giving relatively decent boosts, and I'm trying to get 20,000 as close as I can to know if I need to add another one. As you see, if I were to kind of mix one in here, this isn't worth adding an additional one for. 15,000, if all my residential units can be higher than 15,000, doesn't make sense to put a lower population item there with the entertainment. Mountains, what I did with the mountains, I haven't really finished this yet, but took advantage during Black Friday here. If we take a look again with the stone-faced waterfall giving a 50% boost, this carries all the way across to the other side, so I mirrored one on the other side, and I'm able to get a 100% boost on all of these residential units here in this area because of the way that I have them spaced out. They're giving me coverage on everything that I need, and that will in time allow me to fill in the middle once I get enough Mayor Pass mountain items to do so. I've started to place them up here in the mountains, which I hope to do the same thing with. As you see, this one here carries all the way across, and it's currently giving me a 45% boost, but eventually when I acquire enough mountain mayor pass items, since this is probably the only region I'm going to utilize them in, I will be able to pull out the mayor pass buildings that I actually put in my regions. Right now they are still giving me a decent boost, but eventually I'll be able to turn all those into residential units as well. And again, the difference between the two sides here, looking at this, is a 10 width tile opposed to a 12 width tile. And I guess let me go back to the regional here just to kind of show you what I did. Is I did put the deluxe unit here on the far side, which for the most part allowed me to get away with 2 plus just a tiny one here on the end. Same thing over here. I only used these 4 because I already had them in the region and I didn't really want to destroy them, but you can get away with doing it either way. Since it's either a 2x2 or 4x2, it's still going to make the same footprint either way. Over here on the other side, I did take advantage of using this type of layout with, as you see, being able to get away with 1 health, 1 police, and 1 fire to cover that entire region, which I'm going to end up with 3, 6, 9, 12, probably 15 residential units in each one of these blocks just by doing that. But with doing that type of layout and trying to maximize everything I did, a couple places here with my parks, you'll see I did go ahead and put an ultimate mayor statue right there in the middle, just to make sure that I had coverage for parks everywhere, because I don't have any 1x1 areas left to use the Sakura Park to get to that boost from, but I wanted to make sure that I was getting a park boost. You will see there are some other areas here where I'm using larger items than I would like to, like the university here. It's just going to take so long to be able to get enough universities that are education hotspots that are big enough to get up to 50%. So right now, I've just kind of slid that in there. But once I get some of my other educational hotspots, because education is the one area where I don't have really a lot of 2x2s available, I have gone and used a couple 3x2s that are using other regions' coins in order to do upgrades. I'm probably only going to upgrade them to level 7s for right now, because again, in the future, once I get my capital city done, I can focus on upgrading the hotspots that I have right now. That one there is level 7. And it does give decent coverage, but the only problem that I'm going to see right now with the level 7 is it's only a 50% boost. So I'm not going to be able to get that 80% boost for a while. But again, with the math, 275 residential units at averaging 20,000 apiece does get me right at 5.5 million. And that is where my goal is for right now. 6 million is definitely possible, but that will take a lot more work, and I'm focusing on other things right now. Landscape, as you see, all of the bridges that I have kind of floated all through here just in order to make sure that I have enough coverage and enough boost. As you see, 366,000 is where my boost is there. Education, as you see, is almost half of that, which is to be expected right now. Transportation, 351. Let me see as I cycle through here. Entertainment's just a little bit lower. I'll probably take some time and see where exactly the gaps are and see if I can get those all to be right around the same. Mountain is kind of what I'm using as my benchmark for what I want all of my specializations to be close to. So if I get around 370, I know I'm doing the right thing. Landmarks are pretty close. Space, obviously, because of the 2x2 only being 40%, I'm not really utilizing a lot of the moon tracks. One, because of the price, but 2, it's just not conducive to what I need to do. I really wish I'd be able to utilize some of the other boosts here through space, but I just haven't really focused on space enough for me to be able to jump out and utilize that properly. Same in the capital city. Let's see if there's anything else here to really take a good look at. As you can see, I have a lot of these that I have put all my residential units in place, but most of them still aren't upgraded yet. I have 66 of the 274 are already epics. Again, I'm still focusing on putting epics in my capital city. I only have about 20 left, and then I'll switch my goal to be only focusing on the Frosty epics. So there is a lot started this footprint here. I am pretty confident that we'll do it. I'm going to take a quick peek and show you what one of my friends has in their Frosty. Of course, I don't think I actually picked the right park, so let's look at his cities. As you see, he's at 6.3. Um, he's been doing this a lot longer and has been able to focus a lot more on what he has going on. As you see, a lot of the ends over here are utilizing parks, education, a lot. I think the Ferris wheel was entertainment. But just as to what he was able to do is just a little bit different than what I'm focusing on. Um, as you see, the education over here is using the football field. But 6 million is definitely something that's possible, as you can see here, just by what he has done. He took a different route up here with the regional, and also looking at the services. So I'm curious to see in the end if I am short of what he has, or maybe even have more just based on what I did with my pattern there on the end. But it's definitely possible to get to 6 million. Just wanted to give a little bit more in depth as to what my thought process was. And it looks like here Tony has followed a very similar thought process in order to be able to accommodate as many residential units in the region to get that as high as possible. Now, he probably has more mountain than is needed, but I guess if you've been doing this for 8 or 10 years, you definitely have enough extra to go around and to put somewhere just to get out of inventory to make sure that you have exactly 100% coverage everywhere in your city. But we'll go back to mine real quick before we wrap things up. Again, this is our 50th episode. If you like seeing these max population episodes, please like and subscribe to the channel. I will continue to put out updates as to where I am. 3.3 out of my goal of 5.5, which I do feel is very obtainable. I just need to continue focusing on getting the parks done because, the cash that's needed to continue to do, $70,000 to $80,000 per epic in my capital, and then come over here and also spend additional money just to start putting parks down. You see, I have a long way to go in order to finish those, and those are 60,000 a piece. Most of my, let's take a look here. I'm at $50,000 per epic, pretty much, for what I need to do already here in Frosty. Now, obviously, Mountain is where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck, just because I have the most mountain items and it'll give me the most options. But I'm only upgrading these to the 40, the first level of the epics, just to get them done. I'm sure if I focused on some of the other specializations, I'll be spending a lot less money. But if I can get more points and not have to use as many items in order to finish those, it's a pretty big juggle between finishing the residential upgrades, finishing epics in either my capital or my region, and then also focusing on the export HQs in order to get enough points that I need to upgrade all of my hotspots as well. It's just a juggle, and that's just part of the game. That's what makes it fun. And I am glad you guys were able to be with me today. If you have any questions about Frosty, please put them down in the comments. I'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. But other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will be back with you guys here soon. Thanks.